Good afternoon, everyone. I was sitting thinking about the audience today, and I'm really wondering, are you here because you really wanted to be here, or are you here just because you couldn't get home right now? I'm assuming it's the former. Well, I hope the video gave you an idea of a little bit about what the BBA has been up to. We're going to talk about that just a little bit more today. I want to assure you that the BBA is hard at work in executing our strategic plan, which, as you know, we call Blueprint Birmingham. But I especially want to thank our key leaders, in particular Fred McCallum, who you've heard from already. Fred and our executive committee, this year led by Grayson Hall, our board of directors, and our investors provide us with the leadership, the daily leadership, the resources that we need, the daily guidance to help us do what we do, and we are very privileged to be able to work with them. We're also privileged, I'm privileged today to introduce to you, in kind of in retrospect, our employees of the quarter. We like to do this annually at this meeting, and I want to tell you who our employees of the quarter for 2013 were. We have an outstanding staff, but these people in particular really demonstrated throughout the year the professionalism, the teamwork, and the performance that we expect of all of our staff. For the first quarter, it was Lauren Cooper. Lauren is on our communications team. Whatever you read, she probably wrote and probably had a strong hand in planning. Lauren, would you stand and be recognized, please, and remain standing? For the second quarter, our employee of the quarter was Nan Baldwin. Nan is part of our Public Policy and Regional Development Division staff. She's in charge of our regional development programs. She's in charge of infrastructure, environment, brownfield development programs. Nan, would you please stand and be recognized? There she is already. The BBA couldn't function without Matt McKenzie, our third quarter employee of the quarter. Matt, would you stand, please? Matt handles our technology needs, and in particular, as we advance our marketing programs, our technology capability is even more important to us. Matt's the guy that every organization has to have. He's your best friend when something's not working right. Where's Matt standing? Okay, oh, in the back, working, of course. And for the fourth quarter, it was Beth Ragland. Beth is the creative genius on our staff. She's the one who makes everything, I like to say, sing together, our literature, our website, all of those things that you read and get to enjoy. She makes them work right and also look good. She was our fourth quarter employee of the quarter. Beth Ragland, if you would stand, please. They are part of a fantastic team that, again, y'all can sit down now, thank you, that I'm privileged to work with, a great overall team. And now you can stand back up because I'd like for all of the BBA staff to stand up and be recognized, please. All of our staff, which is about half of the audience today. Thank you very much. You guys are great. As I mentioned, Blueprint Birmingham is our strategic plan. It was developed by a much larger team of community leaders, both public and private sector officials, people who care a lot about the community. It's a comprehensive plan. Its focus is on a range of key initiatives: public policy, workforce, small and minority businesses, image enhancement, international trade, traditional business recruitment, targeted business recruitment. And one of those areas that's most important to all of us is attention to our existing companies, retaining them and ideally helping them grow. The plan is reviewed and updated annually in order to keep it fresh, and the thing that I like best about it is it's not only our marketing strategy, it's a strategy to help make the product that we market even better. So again, Blueprint Birmingham is alive and well. Part of it in the public policy area is a daily approach to advocating for those issues that we think will help us strategically thinking at the local, regional, state levels, recognize and achieve our success. And examples of those are our annual state and federal agendas. Every economic development organization has to have an integral public policy approach, and ours is one that is very active. Examples of our public policy work during 2013 are continuing support and advocacy for UAB and SRI, transportation infrastructure, in particular the Northern Beltline, and in 2014 we're also focusing on economic development incentive legislation, working with our delegation there. Back in 2013, a major success for us that we were involved in, and I know that David Fleming is here, was heavily involved in, is tax credits for historic properties, which is especially important to Birmingham and in particular downtown Birmingham. Our annual meeting with Governor Bentley was once again a tremendous success and a sellout for us. We continue to advocate also on the federal level, working with our congressional delegation on issues ranging from transportation to research funding at UAB and Southern Research. And in the workforce area, our workforce initiatives basically boils down to this. It's a matter of as an economic development organization, we think it's important that we identify the job skills and the training needs required by our local and growing employers, and then bring together the students, the workers, the educators, and the employers to make sure that we're all on the same page in order for the Birmingham region to have the most productive and competitive workforce possible. You know, the majority of our BBA investors are actually small businesses. The definition of small can range quite widely, but so many of our investors, over 1,100 of them, are small businesses, and we support their growth in many ways, and one example is our annual Small Business Awards celebration. Akin to that is our effort to support our minority-owned businesses, and among those is our African American Business Council and our annual meeting there, which was another success in 2013. You know, the matter of enhancing our image, marketing our community so that we enjoy a more substantive and enhanced image felt not only locally but regionally, statewide, nationally, and throughout the world is extremely important to all of our marketing programs. It impacts how we are seen as a place to live and work and do business. So part of our economic development program is a matter of marketing our image, marketing it to journalists, for example. And on the screen before you are just a few of the examples of those media outlets, publications that recognize something good about Birmingham as a place to live or work or do business during 2013. We'll continue to do that. It's an important part of our strategy, as is the continuing publication of literature that ranges from how we introduce the advantages of Birmingham for a particular industry or even for a particular company. We develop a lot of proposals that help support our economic development needs. Among those is Alliance Magazine, which you have before you and is shown on the screen. An interesting story, I was talking with Don James, the chairman and CEO of Vulcan last year. I have a lot of one-on-one meetings with our local CEOs, and Don, of course, is a member of our BBA executive committee, and I noticed in his office was a model of a ship, a deep water ship that is one of a few owned by Vulcan Materials, and I asked him to tell me about it, and the story was that ship travels routinely between Port of Mobile and Mexico, where Vulcan Materials has extensive operations. And I said, you know, let's explore this. There's a story there that I think most people in Birmingham have no idea about, that we have a company that is headquartered in Birmingham, and it's not the only one, but it's certainly a large one, that has extensive worldwide operations, is so heavily engaged in international trade and international transportation. We need to tell that story, and so we decided to do it to the extent that we put this ship, which is actually, as it's pictured on the front of the magazine, in port in Mexico, and then if you read the article, you'll see it in the Port of Mobile. Another way of demonstrating that Birmingham is a community that in many ways reaches the world. Al Denson and others from the Airport Authority are here today. Birmingham International Airport gives us the means to reach foreign markets on a daily basis, and we do that in many different ways. You know, one of Birmingham's greatest strengths, and perhaps the greatest strength, is UAB. It's our ability to perform technology with both UAB and Southern Research Institute and the wealth of technology-based companies, over 700 of them that we have. Technology and innovation continues to be an integral part of our economic development program. In fact, it's an integral part of Blueprint Birmingham. We continue to serve a 7-county region as the place that we advocate for and market on behalf of. We work with leaders, and you know, if they'd all been here today, and we had so many people who were coming, Greg Canfield, who of course is director of the Alabama Department of Commerce, and others from Commerce were planning to be here, as were other leaders from revenue and transportation and industrial training at the state level. And then at the local level, economic development representatives and elected officials from, I guess, really all of our counties had someone who was coming today, and I wanted to give them a special thank you. But when you see them, tell them how much we appreciate them, because we do. We work together with them as a team in marketing, and certainly on the projects, as Fred mentioned earlier, our close work with Mayor Bell and other key leaders. We're getting a lot done with them and because of them. Examples of that, the good work, the teamwork, leads to groundbreakings, like this one at Mercedes-Benz, like this one in Walker County for a Japanese-based company called HTNA, an automotive supplier, in the Oxmoor area in the city of Birmingham, in the Avondale area of Birmingham. That was Enderon Coatings, Mayor. That was a great day for us. And also in downtown Birmingham. These are just a few examples of ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings throughout the year that led us to this bottom line, that in 2013, the BBA and our collective new and expanding companies, 97 of them collectively announced 2,700 jobs for the Birmingham region and over $350 million in capital investment. So I would say to you today that our pace of growth, the diversification that we are seeing among the business sectors and the jobs that are being created, the regional geographic pattern that we're seeing as we continue to grow is strong and is getting better. Blueprint Birmingham is working, and I want to encourage you to stay tuned, because in late March, probably on March 28th, we're going to host our 3rd annual Blueprint Birmingham Summit, where we'll dig deeper into the metrics and the comparisons with other communities and understand just exactly how we are performing. Thank you very much. And now it is my honor and privilege to introduce my newest boss. I get a new boss every year, and they're all good, I can assure you. And certainly Grayson is no exception. You know, at the end of the event today, Fred will conduct a ceremony that will effectively pass the gavel to Grayson Hall, our incoming, or actually our current 2014 chairman. And while we're looking forward to working closely with Grayson throughout the year, let me assure you that he's already been at work on our behalf. In 2012, Grayson offered and we accepted the invitation for him to invite Dr. Condoleezza Rice to this meeting a year ago, and so she was here as our guest speaker, and that really kind of set the bar, and the same thing happened again when the idea came about having Dr. Porter here. It was just an incredible opportunity for us, and Grayson made that happen, Grayson, we appreciate that very much, the personal attention that you've already given to what we're doing. So I don't want to steal Grayson's thunder, because it's his responsibility now to come up and introduce our keynote speaker today, Dr. Michael Porter. But Grayson, I do want you to know on behalf of our staff how much we appreciate you and look forward to working with you through the year. Thank you.